Anyway, hypnotic hangover is a term I coined years ago, and it's starting to show up in the literature now, of course. Our stuff becomes mainstream in roughly 18 months. Now, the interesting thing is hypnotic hangover is this idea. Erickson said that hypnosis does not increase suggestibility. It only increases potential for suggestibility.
Okay.
And we still have the ability to refuse suggestions.
Yeah, we can still say no.
Yeah, if we don't want
Which
them.
is why you can't make someone lie or tell the truth in trance. I should say tell the truth. You can't.
Why do I? No, I just made you say that.
There you go. No, you cannot force someone to tell the truth. If they want to hide a secret from you, they're going to do it.
Oh, buddy, and there's a whole story on that. I'll tell you sometime. Hypnotic hangover is the idea that when someone comes out of trance, unless the trance is severed deliberately and clearly from the waking state, which should be done clearly, not like, okay, you can sort of wake up.
There will be like a muddiness.
Yes, a muddiness, a zoned outness, where the person may be carrying enhanced suggestibility for a few seconds to maybe a minute, especially if your work is sloppy. But even if you do everything right, sometimes things don't go right. So hypnotic hangover means you presuppose that the person may still be suggestible.
Right. So their conscious mind is in this
back
state
in the room
of believing that the hypnosis is over.
But they may still have this muddy in between state.
So you say to them stuff like,
so you can say things like, and you go to your notebook and there's coming out of it more and you say,
you did amazing.
You did a great job. You're a great subject and you'll probably sleep so well tonight. Just give them some positive, affirming suggestions as soon as they come out of trance. Don't wait. Do it right away. State them in the positive and keep them simple. And that is a great way of doing stellar hypnotic work. This is a coda.
Think of it as affirming statements. Affirmative. Affirming, comforting, soothing. What's the word? Emolliency. Emolative.
That.
Yeah, that.
Not a Molotov
right, there you
cocktail.
go. Say good stuff when they're coming out of trance. Now, how can you use this in everyday life? We were talking about how if you catch somebody in a daydream state, we do this all the time. We daydream or we see that someone's in a trance, right? They're just sort of zoned out and they come back and you just say some good stuff to them because they're probably somewhat, or they could be somewhat suggestible. It doesn't mean it'll work, but it has a better chance than zero and a better chance than average.
And I leave it to our listeners and viewers to experiment with this. What about highway hypnosis? You're behind the wheel of a car. You know, you're zoned out and the person next to you can give you positive suggestions.
Oh, that's a great point, too. If you're in the passenger seat.
Television, the most ubiquitous trance inducer there is. So the longer you watch, the deeper you sink, the more facial flaccidity you get, larger lower lip size, breathing shifts, and so on. Slower blink reflex. Then what you do is as you stand up when the TV is turned off, give them some good suggestions.
Yeah. And map
like
it across.
You'll lose your television addiction.
If it's, let's say it's a spouse or something, map it across to their love languages. So as an example, my wife, one of her love languages is words of affirmation, which is similar to yours, right? And mine too. Words of affirmation. So if she finished watching a TV show or Netflix, TV, who watches TV these days? Netflix, Amazon Prime, Instant Video, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Just coming out of that zoned out watching a show state. And I say, you know, I was just thinking, I really appreciate how you had us move outside of Toronto to this wonderful little town. It's just been a great experience and I want to give you the credit for it. You're a great person. Something like,
dry lip.
Say something fantastic right in that moment. Boom. It'll probably have a better effect than if it was, I was going to say out of the blue. It would come across as out of the blue. But if you framed it as, I was just thinking about, boom, and then you give this positive affirming word.
That's good.
It'll be useful.